What's going on? This is Neutral Speculation. I'm going to do an analysis on this up and coming fight and a small prediction, and I'm going to do a comparison from the past fights to what we're going to get June 27th. Like Zander Zayas versus Jaron Ennis. It's going to be a really, really good fight. Both these young dudes, talented, whole package, man. It's very exciting, especially if you're a boxing fan. You really want to see the outcome and you want to see how it's going to turn out. So basically, what I see in this fight is a comparison to an old classic, an old good fight. Marco Antonio Barrera versus Prince Nazim Hamed. If you haven't seen that fight, check it out. If you have seen that fight, go back, check it out again. That past fight reminds me of this Zander Zayas and Jaron Ennis fight. Because Prince Hazim has had all the skills. You know what I mean? He had speed, power. He was flashy. He was flamboyant, extremely confident. He had it. Now, you had Marco Antonio Barrera. He had everything that a trainer wants in a fighter: toughness, jab, good footwork, combinations, a lot of heart. Barrera had it all, and he displayed it throughout his career. So the comparison is how a basic fighter can beat a flashy guy. He just has to be fundamentally sound. He has to also be confident in his ability and not get dazed by the flashiness, the athleticism, and so on and so forth. Now, Barrera was athletic, but he wasn't as flashy as Prince Hamed. Now, I compare that to Zander Zayas and Jaron Ennis. Jaron, very flashy, athletic. He can stick to the basics. He knows the basics. He's a very good fighter. He can rumble. He can box on the outside, inside. Good upper body movement. Has it all. Zander Zayas, a lot more fundamentally sound as far as basics. Jab, good movement, decent upper body movement. Also, he has a lot of heart. He has a lot of determination, and he's still very young. He's 23 years old. I believe Zander Zayas turned pro at 17, so he got some good experience in terms of, and obviously because he's a world champion now, but he's actually had some really good fights where he got to see who he really was and what he can bring to the table. And now he's a belt holder, two belt holders at 154. He has more belts at everybody at 154. So he's actually came a long way. Came a long way. And he's only getting better. Just like Jaron Ennis, they're only getting better. So I say all of that to say I hear a lot of people say things like Jaron is definitely going to win because of his ability. He's able to make things look very, very easily. In the boxing ring, he has fun, which is a great thing. He's having fun in a dangerous sport. And he not just talks about it, he's actually going out there and he displays and you can see his showcasing. It's remarkable. But Zander Zayas, on the other hand, basic. And when I say basic, I mean that in a positive way. He doesn't do all the flair and the flash. I don't think he can get away with the things that Boots can do. However, that doesn't mean that Zayas is not effective just as much as Boots. Nevertheless, it doesn't mean that Zayas can't win the fight against Boots. and really be dominant. If you look at that fight in the past, Marco Antonio Barrera and Prince Nassim Hamed, and if you follow boxing throughout those years in the past, you'll see these guys have very different styles. But the person that stuck to the fundamentals of being basic, using the basics, won the fight. Marco Antonio Barrera beat Prince Nazim Hamed, and he used it by using a jab, good footwork, repeated left hooks, aggression, smarts, and experience. Hamed was sensational. He was undefeated when he went up against Barrera. So when I turn the page to the future, both fighters, Boots and Zayas, are both undefeated. However, the styles are obviously different. But I want to let everyone know from my perspective, which I believe is quite similar to that past fight. I believe a lot of things that happened in the past, it comes back in the future. It kind of gives you a telltale of the possibilities. Now, it's not a determining factor that Zayas is going to beat Jaron or vice versa. But I hear a lot of people say Boots is definitely going to win, but it's going to be a hard fight. But they got to understand that, yes, you can have all the skills, you can be flashy, you can be everything that a trainer wants. You can be everything that a fighter wants to be. But the possibility of losing to a basic fighter can be heightened if you do not take your fundamentals seriously. Now, I'm not talking about Boots nor Zayas in this situation. I'm just talking about from the perspective of how people just look at it as Boots is going to beat the guy. Zayas has some things I'm pretty sure he's working on, and he has worked on throughout his career, and I believe he's absolutely ready, and I believe he has what it takes to win this fight. It's just up to both fighters to be smart, strategize, and use their IQ more than using their youth. They should use their IQ in this fight. That's just my perspective on this. I'm going to enjoy this fight. I commend both fighters for signing up and giving me something to talk about because I'm really excited about the fight. Anything can happen in boxing. That's my opinion. This is neutral speculation. Go back and look at that fight, Barrera versus Prince Hazim Hamed, and tune in for June 27th, Boots and Zander Zayas. This is neutral speculation. Like, comment, subscribe, and tell me who you think is going to be on top.